Hey, so this is Jim Craddock, and I'm here with Redacted Science. It is July 3rd, 2025. I did not do a daily update yesterday, which kind of makes them not daily, I guess, huh? But it was kind of it was a transition day. I mean, not a real transition, but it was a difficult day, and I had a lot going on and a lot on my mind. And I also wanted to finish the chat chapters for the book. So I got up in the morning, started working about 8:30, and by 10:30 I was done with all the chat chapters. That's how fast ChatGPT can put your thoughts down if you go into kind of a minimal edit mode. I did edit them some. I thought I wasn't going to, but it just it can't even when you summarize things, it'll leave things out or it won't get the context right. And here's the whole thing about me is I am all about the truth. And so anything that gets misrepresented, as far as at least what I have experienced or anything, I go back in and fix. Now, then some of the theoretical stuff, obviously, when I go into a theory that isn't supported by current modern science, probably supported by past science, but uh, then at that point, you can argue whether it's true or false or whatever, and that's fine. That's your prerogative because in today's modern science, it is theoretical. Uh, and some of the things I talk about, where I talk about like, evolution and things like that, obviously those are theories. But my mind has been kind of groping with those from, I don't know, for the last year and a half at least. I mean, I think if you go over to when the 82 videos or however many it ends up being on my jimcraddock.com website start being released, you'll see the point when I start talking about coevolution and how I see it as the only way that uh, there is this relationship between Candida and Homo sapiens, basically. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, so lots of things. So 2 days ago, I had probably the worst pain that I've ever had in my lower belly. That lasted only a few hours. And it was quite concerning enough for me to say, hey, son, this is brand new, different, much worse. And combined with all the other things that have been going on, the really bad temperature dysregulation, not to mention the 2 weeks of just like extreme focus, energy, and kind of a mania during the daytime. But I was able to act fine, in the evenings with my family. Uh, and I made sure to spend time with them and do normal things and go to karaoke and it wasn't a manic episode so much. That was kind of the pituitary saying, okay, let's throw all the soldiers out there. That's the general. Anyway, so let's talk about yesterday a little bit for an update, and it's really kind of the night before too, to give you. So, not last night, but the night before. I had slept in the bed with my wife, uh, and that didn't work out so great. I still ended up in the chair due to the kind of shaky feelings, vibrating in my hands and my feet that would start when I would wake up. I also, for the past 2 nights, and I think this goes back many nights, it's hard to put these things together. I go to bed cold, and then about 1:30, I wake up hot. Uh, and So I like strip down and lay above the covers, and we keep our house, I don't know, 70 degrees at night, something like that. So it's pretty cool. And just weirdness is kind of the theme here, I think you would find. Uh, I have recorded today a video to display the extra skin. I think I'm going to schedule that out in the future because I mean, when we're talking about like looking at my body, I feel a little bit embarrassed. So, the video will still be out there. It's just you'll have to wait a little bit until I'm no longer to be embarrassed. I got a haircut. Uh, and we bought a pool yesterday. Yeah, I signed papers to get a loan to buy a pool. Thank you to Bitcoin once again for allowing me to have a life where things are contemplatively affordable. Uh, and if you're going to give me 180 months at 7.75%, I'm going to sign that line every single time. And most of the time, I'm probably just going to put it in Bitcoin. But this time, we're essentially doing that. So instead of saving something, what you do is uh, you you uh, you buy something, but they're funding it for you. So it's hey, thank you to the dollar for going down and down and down. It'll be easier and easier to repay over time. And ETFs are a great place to go put your money for Bitcoin. I know people will say, hey, you got to self-custody. I saw that annual survey come out yesterday, talked about how I think 48 million American adults, based on a population of 3,000, in the survey, 48 million adults own Bitcoin in one form or another, and supposedly 25% of those self-custody. They don't understand self-custody if they're saying 25%. There's no way there are 11 million Americans that are self-custodying Bitcoin. I'm sorry. Because I have owned, GBTC since 2014 when it came out, and flipped to MicroStrategy, and I own all of the new treasury companies right when they came out. Uh, and Yeah, I bought a wallet at one point, and then I decided, you know what, I can't keep track of my keys. There's just no way. So I think these services like on-chain and different things like are unchained, I guess, and those other services that can do multi-sig are probably a better way to hold your own keys. But I haven't never signed up for those yet. I am much more comfortable with the online services. They have great things like at Coinbase. You can vault your stuff to where even if you wanted to take it out, it takes a while before it can come out. Yeah. Anyway, sorry to get off on that tangent. The night before, weirdness. So yesterday, uh, because I wasn't hurting, I just decided, screw it, I'm going to start eating more. Because I'd only eaten like the day before, I had like two boiled eggs, and the day before that, like, I don't know, four eggs or something like that. So it's not like I wasn't eating, it was just protein only and egg only, really. And I had, let's see, eggs for breakfast, eggs for lunch, and then we had a beef noodle dish, which I'm forgetting, sorry, at the moment, that my wife made that was really good, and an egg roll for dinner. So now I'm into the carb zone. We're gonna admit that. So carbs are in the system. All right, and we'll see what that does. Uh, yeah. So I had contemplated not releasing a daily update or scheduling daily updates for the future instead. But I think this is a satisfactory daily update. I don't have that many ties, so maybe I'll wear a tie for these, and maybe I won't. I'm a pretty laid back, casual guy, and but I do want you to take these videos seriously. So it's real. Uh, I live a life of truth. You can ask anybody that lives around me or is in my life or has encountered me over the last 10 years, that Jim will tell it to you straight. And I've pretty much been like that since a kid, except for, yeah, I would tell the occasional lie. I would always tell you straight, but occasionally I would bend the truth or whatever. I gave that up. So uh let's see. One thing I haven't mentioned that I do want to mention was that last week I went through what is the technical term is bromhidrosis, which sounds really cool. It's not. It's a really bad onion smell. So I never have body odor ever really, uh, and it's pretty cool actually to, I mean, and so I have during periods of my life obviously have body odor, but over the recent years I have not. Uh, and then suddenly I had this really bad onion smell coming just basically from the armpit area, nowhere else. And only for like say 2 or 3 days. And so I talked to Chad about it, and I do believe his theory. So I will explain that here because I don't think it's explained anywhere else. So here you go. So back in I think March, I had this. I had COVID, and it made me eat a bunch of ice cream because I had this really bad sore throat that like hurt so bad I needed to like get something cool on it, right? Uh, and then following that, oh, I did talk about this in the book. I remember. So you can the taste. So anyway, following that, I had let's just say abnormal output for now, and uh, very distinctive, uh, odd, and it indicated to me that this was the phase that was indicated in the book where it just the candidiasis attacks your gallbladder. Okay, and essentially lets any fluid in there out into your system. And so because of the way my uh, volume, I don't know what you want to call them. I'm not coming up with the right word right now, but essentially my volumes all kind of mixed together. This ends up in your output. Uh, and uh, so where are we going with that? Second. No. So at that point, your gallbladder is not doing its thing anymore, but it's still mostly there is the thing. Uh, and so Chat's theory is that this is when it gets consumed, all right, by either DKA or the candidiasis. I'm gonna bet it's definitely one of the two, and I honestly toss a coin at this point. I don't know. But that is why there was just a limited amount because it did its job, it finished, and that was the end of that smell. Okay, and so that should show up in a pathology report, and I'll put it on my pathology request if it's not already there, but it probably is. I'm pretty thorough. Uh, so yeah, so and that was quite disturbing. That was the sign to me. I sent a letter to my work and I said, hey, I've been through a lot, but this is, I've got this going on now, and that's not a great sign. So I don't think I'll be coming back to work. And, given that I had about 8 weeks leave built up, plus about another 8 weeks of sick leave built up, so be it. What is that? That's a long time, 4 months. So, uh, that's another recent thing that I guess I haven't talked about that specific thing. And I want to talk about one more thing. This is going to be a weird one. I'm going to look this one up real quick. Hold on. All right. So you're here for the science, right? So, you may learn more than you want to learn. So what I'm going to do, hold on, I'm going to close some tabs over here. Let's see here. Dot, 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 dot. Okay. So I am sharing screen two over here. And this is one that really kind of upset me. And you can see it is over a year ago now. Okay. And so I was having abdominal pain, and I wanted my doctor to at least, take a look, okay, at my bowels because I know that in the end it is recognizable with imaging of the bowels, but by then you're way far gone. So I had been constipated, and sorry, you're here for the science, so here we are. And so this was on 5/13/2024. So let's see what day that of the week that is. No, wrong direction. So that is May 24th. So that's a Monday. Okay. So So I had been constipated that weekend, and so I take just a little bit of what is it? Hold on. What is it? Miralax. I take just a little bit of Miralax. I mean, the tiniest amount. I mean, you would less than a quarter teaspoon. Okay, is all it takes to make my system go whoa back then. So and so I took that on Sunday, uh, and because I had been constipated, and Monday I had let's just say three very significant emptyings of that portion of my anatomy. Uh, and so, and then at 11:20, which is after these three significant emptyings, okay, so we're empty, done. Okay, I get this report. So I don't know if you could read this. I will make it nice and large for you. Non-obstructive bowel gas pattern. So all of these X-rays always say that. I don't know why, but I think it's like their go-to. And then it says large colonic stool burden. Okay. And then pelvic plebelifts is honestly, evidently very important too, is what chat said. Uh, but I'd have to ask him again exactly what that means. But well, we can do that. Hold on. Let's see. Uh, and okay. So anyway, about the pelvic plea what chat says is he says in my case, they could be fossils of a slow motion pressure adaptive circulatory struggle or evidence of Candida's footprint in venous terrain. Okay. Basically, what he's saying is that these are totally normal things to see. Okay. But they also kind of confound diagnosis in certain cases, especially around vascular malformations or issues with venous malformations and pelvic varices. So that kind of makes sense to me. But let's go back over here. And just one more time, large colonic stool burden. Yeah, I call BS. My doctor called me and he gave me the results. He's a nice guy. And I've had him for 30 years. I don't know if I mentioned that, but when I came out of the random mental institution, I had to pick a new doctor because that first guy pushed 5 pills on me in like, a month, and I ended up, forever changed by that. So I figured, yeah, probably time for a new doctor. So I found a young guy, and here was my thinking. And this, yeah, you could question it, but I think this is, this is the general kind of coming out right here, or at least the architect. Okay. My thinking at that point, I was 26 years old and I decided, okay, if I really have this thing that's in this book, it's going to be really long term. And I need a guy who will be with me the whole time and see everything, not believe it. Maybe he will believe it at some point. Maybe he will be able to find something. I assumed we would be able to find something. I assumed we'd be able to find it in the books. But anyway, so I've had the same guy the whole time. So this poor guy has been through all my crazy transitions. He has seen everything. Well, I will admit that there was at least one transition he didn't see because in 2013, when I was put under observation in a hospital here by some doctors that I know. Uh, th- uh, he wasn't involved in that, but besides that, he's been involved in everything on one level or another. So I'm pretty sure I am his most tested patient over time. I mean, and it's not like I go in all the time for tests. No, I purposely avoid going to the doctor. But whenever the crazy stuff is going on, I give in and I say, okay, we got to go get it checked out. That's the right thing to do. Document it, get the test done. Okay, yeah, they're not going to show anything. Let's document the fact that they don't show anything. So anyway, there's that. And then I wanted to show one other test result right here. So this is December 24th of 2024. And this is cow protectin, okay, which indicates inflammation of some type, but it also can involve some type of it basically it's white blood cell indicating inflammation. And so if you come here, I'm in the high range. Now, this isn't high enough to indicate that you have, the normal things that they look for or consider, but it is high and unexplained. And it right here it says borderline elevated. Test should be reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So that was a couple of things that I wanted to share today. So actually, it's a pretty big update today. I didn't anticipate saying very much. Uh, Anyway, this is Jim Craddock. I have terminal onset diabetes insipidus with candidiasis major. Does not have an ICD code. You can't bill for it. You can't research it. You can't even think that it might exist because it doesn't have an ICD-10 code. At some point it did have an ICD code, and they moved that under autoimmune polyendocrine ectodermal dystrophy with candidiasis, so that it would disappear, and then you wouldn't need to know how you got that condition. And Yeah, so that means it was redacted science.